Good morning and welcome to West Country Wanderings, day 3 of the walk on the Cotswold Way. We're just the other side of Painswick Beacon and we're headed in the direction down that way towards the village right on the Cotswold escarpment of Birdlip. However, I've got some surprises along the way which I think you'll find interesting, so why not join me here on West Country Wanderings along the fantastic Cotswold Way. We are just entering Buckholt Wood on the way to the village of Cranham, and as we saw at Edge, this is also part of the Cotswold Commons and Beechwoods, the National Nature Reserve here, and it's managed by Natural England. Yesterday was Father's Day, and just at this point I'd just like to give a big shout out to my dad, who obviously brought me up and has cared for me and given me support in times of need over the years, and just like to thank him for that. So thanks very much, Dad. My problem on the technical front today, I always carry a spare battery with me. Unfortunately, when I checked my camera this morning, took it out to the boot of the car, noticed that it flicked itself into the on position, so that the battery that had already charged up was completely flat. So I'm just running on one battery. Hope I've got enough power to do the whole vlog today. So if the vlog ends suddenly, you'll know that I've run out of power. And worst scenario, it completely cuts out. What I'll do is I'll combine this vlog, the footage I've taken up to the battery fails, onto day 4, so if that happens you'll know the reason why. According to my OS map, at this point here, we're just coming up to Cranham Cross, there is something called a pillow mound. I'm not sure if that's an Iron Age fortification. I'll look that up to see what that is and drop a link in below. Very substantial old Cotswold stone wall running to the left of the Cotswold Way here. It's also quite some height, probably some 6 foot in height. Also a gap in the wall at this point, and on the other side of the wall some steps leading down to another minor road. But that's not the Cotswold Way. We're continuing along in this direction. We're now leaving Buckholt Wood at this point, and we're now about to cross over this busy road and head down in that direction. Buckholt Road, formerly a sanatorium road. Interesting, I wonder if there was a former sanatorium down in this direction. This section here, we're just re-entering Buckholt Wood again, because the road, we've crossed over the road, so the woods crisscross the roads here at Cranham, and it comes into another section called Rough Park Wood. Some very strange yellow arrows pointing off to the right here. If you do see those, they're nothing to do with the Cotswold Way. I've just rechecked my OS map on my phone. We need to be headed in this direction according to my phone, and indeed, yes, just up ahead we have a visual confirmation of that. It's one of the trusty old signs denoting the Cotswold Way here. It's the old yellow arrow with the white dot, and that dates this back to when the way first opened back in the early 1970s. So thank you for that marker there on the tree, which is very reassuring. deeper into the woodland, further away from the road. We're also gaining quite a bit in height here. Today is the 21st of June, which marks it as a significant day. And that means it's the longest day. It doesn't feel particularly summery today at all. It's actually chillier than when I did the walk a couple of days ago up to Painswick Beacon. And I've kept my waterproof jacket and my fleece on. It certainly doesn't feel summery, and normally I like it cool, but decidedly chilly this morning, although I have started quite early. So yeah, longest day today in terms of light. I heard on the news this morning when I was having my breakfast that there was big celebrations, of course, at Stonehenge. All the druids there, and I'm sure it was a spectacular sight. I haven't seen it on TV, so I don't know if there was a sunrise, or a visible sunrise, should I say, beneath the cloud, but I'm sure it was quite an event anyway. To the Cotswold Way, it's also a combined footpath as well as being a cycle path designated by Natural England. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Personally, I prefer footpaths that are dedicated footpaths only, because there's nothing worse when you're out walking and suddenly getting knocked by a bike. But I noticed that here the sign for the bike diverges to the left, so we should be bike free. Got nothing against cyclists. I used to be a cyclist, keen cyclist. On today's roads, I'm not so keen to cycle on roads anymore. I can understand the joys of being on a mountain bike through these woodlands, though. We're just actually leaving Buckholt Wood again. We keep crossing Buckholt Wood. I noticed there was also a Buckholt Road as well. Now we're entering something different here at this point on our Cotswold Way walk. We're now coming into Cooper's Hill Nature Reserve, a famous site with woodland, wildflowers, rare orchids and the remains of the High Brotheridge Iron Settlement. Now I'm not too sure what the High Brotheridge Iron Settlement is, but again I'll research that for you and put a link below. Cooper's Hill, of course, is famous for something else, and that of course is the famous Gloucestershire festival of cheese rolling down the side of the other side of the hill there on the Gloucester facing slopes, where they roll a large round piece of double Gloucester cheese down the hill, and people have to run, or rather tumble, after it as it goes down the hillside. I don't believe that's taken place for a couple of years now because of COVID, and I know that when it does take place, I'm sure the A&E department at Gloucester Royal Hospital gets filled up with people with broken arms and limbs, because it looks quite a dangerous sport. Nobody really knows the origin of it. It's been going on for, well, at least a couple of 100 years. Just noticed a stream running down the hill here. A bit further on down there's a poster. It's quite hard to read, but it mentions about the river Twyver, which I've never come across before, and also natural flood management. I will research that one when I get back and put some links on below, so it sounds interesting. We're rounding Cooper's Hill, going around the edge of the Cotswold Escarpment. Cooper's Hill is the bit where it sticks out directly over the city of Gloucester. We'll then make our way a bit further towards the east before striding out again, after leaving Whitcomb Wood in a northerly direction towards the village of Birdlip. Birdlip is notorious on the traffic reports, but because it's close to the air balloon roundabout, the A417, which links the M5 with the M4, heading down towards Swindon. There's now a very nasty bend near the pub there with a roundabout, and lots of lorries get stuck on the hill and get jackknifed. Anyway, enough of roads. No roads here. Beautifully quiet. There's one of the old Cotswold Way signs again. Beautiful woodland here at Cooper's Hill, just behind me. And in front, looks like an ancient native woodland with beech and ash trees. Very excited about where I'm going later this morning. Should arrive before lunchtime. And it takes me back to the 1970s when I was at primary school. I used to go to primary school in Stroud, and one of the valleys that leads off from Stroud, I was talking about on the first vlog, is one of the 5 valleys, is Woodchester. And Woodchester lies on the Nailsworth Valley, or sometimes called the Woodchester Valley, and again full of mills, and using the wool and doing wool manufacture for textiles. However, there was a lot older settlement in Woodchester, and it was uncovered in the 19th century. And it was uncovered again in 1973. So perhaps give you a clue as to where we're going today. We're not going to that location, but we're going to somewhere similar, with a similar type of very early development. So I'll let you work that out before we arrive there. Now, interesting dilemma here. The path divides into 2. There's a lower path and an upper path, and no signage at all as to which one we take. I will need to consult my trusty OS map. Yes, it's definitely the higher one. So if you're doing the Cotswold Way, heading from from Painswick Beacon to Birdlip, you come to this point, you need to take the right hand fork. Just to add on to my clue that I was talking to you just a moment ago about, yes, back in 1973, I remember catching the bus from Stroud to Woodchester and had a good explore of this particular location, which is near the church. Now it's been covered up again, and I was very lucky to have seen that, because it hasn't been uncovered since 1973. It attracted a lot of publicity at the time. It made national newspapers, and I believe there was a couple of TV, it certainly attracted local TV and possibly national TV. I remember a lot of cameras being around the site when I was there. I'll explain more shortly. Again, no markings at this point, but the Cotswold Way strikes to the right here, going steeply uphill. No markings at all. I'll just check my OS map, and indeed as I'm going further up, there are confirmation markers further up the hill. So no markings at all coming up this hill here, but then we come up halfway up the hill and we have confirmation marker there, and on the tree there, and on that tree there. So this is definitely the right direction. It's certainly confusing at that point, and it could leave you, taking you in a completely wrong direction if you stayed on the path ahead. Well, that was one of the steepest sections I've been on the Cotswold Way so far. So steep there. Sorry, I'm out of breath. We're now at the top of Cooper's Hill, hence the steep climb. So we've got church downhill, the outskirts of Gloucester. Might you be able to see the M5 there buzzing past, and over there is going towards Cleve Hill, which we'll be seeing later on the Cotswold Way. But this is it. This is Cooper's Hill, where the cheese rolling takes place. Have a look at the steepness of this. It's insane. There. That is just mad. It's got on the telephoto. I'll just put it on wider so you can see that is extremely steep. I would not fancy running down that hill rolling after some piece of cheese. I can see why people end up with broken limbs running down there. Very, very steep indeed. The land at the top of Cooper's Hill opens up, and indeed there looks like there were some fortifications here, perhaps Iron Age settlement. It certainly would be ideal for it. It's a prominent site. The only thing it's missing at the top of this hill is a seat. I could do with a seat at the moment to have a cup of coffee, but I will press on to get to the glacier I'm after, which will involve a slight detour, but we're headed in this direction. Lovely open woodland here, very, very pleasant, obviously because we're at the summit of Cooper's Hill. Quite a breeze, but after climbing that hill it's actually quite welcome, but beautiful site here. And I can imagine this being an Iron Age settlement. You can just imagine their huts and smoke rising up from their settlement while they keep guard over the hill to look out for any invaders coming up from the city of Gloucester. Obviously Gloucester is a Roman city, but there were settlements have been found there which predate Roman times. And although Gloucester's also a modern city, it has a lot of medieval buildings like Blackfriars Abbey and Lanthony Abbey, which is near the canal, which is well worth exploring if you're ever in that direction. We're now headed towards Whitcomb Woods, and we're actually going to be in Whitcomb Woods nearly all the way to get to the village of Birdlip from the Cotswold Way. And this is what I mean about taking my time on the Cotswold Way. We're coming down to the Great Whitcomb Roman Villa, and I'm really super excited about this. I've never been here before. Yeah, so it is off the Cotswold Way, and it's a short walk down, about half a mile. Yeah. Woodchester Roman Villa remains buried, has been since 1973, and although living in Gloucestershire, being grown up in Gloucestershire, I've never actually been to this spot. In fact, I only really noticed it when I was looking at the guidebooks yesterday, planning today's route, seeing what I'll be seeing of anything of interest en route, and I thought, wow, a Roman villa on the footpath here. So I'm going to have stop here for lunch as well and do some filming and do some photography at this fantastic Roman villa. Here we are at Great Whitworth Roman Villa. I've not been here before. I've been to the Roman Villa at Chedworth, which is managed by the National Trust. This site here is managed by English Heritage. It's actually free to get in. There are a number of other sites dotted around Gloucestershire where the Romans touched. I've mentioned Woodchester, which is currently covered over. There is also an excellent museum in Cirencester, because Cirencester and Gloucester, like Bath, which is obviously to the south of the county, were also Roman city. In the case of Gloucester, obviously Cirencester was a well-established Roman settlement. Corinium it was called, and also it lies on the Fosse Way. If you actually look at a map of Cirencester, you see all the Roman roads that crisscross right through the settlement. But here we are at Great Whitworth, and I will show you around. Currently looking at the kitchens. This is how we would have entered the villa. They would have been hot, smoky and teeming with activity. A large number of cooking utensils were uncovered here when this villa was first uncovered, suggesting some elaborate meals were cooked in these kitchens. Now, grain formed the backbone of the diet in Roman Britain, and at Great Whitcomb this was probably supplemented by meat from cattle, sheep, pigs and even some wild deer. We do not know for certain, as the animal bones were not recorded when this site was excavated, but comparisons with other Roman villas suggest the diet of the people living here was probably richer than on other rural farming settlements. It indeed was an impressive villa. It could be seen across the entire estate, and was probably intended to be a symbol of the power and influence of the owners. It was built to a symmetrical design and carefully terraced into this hillside, as you can see. The wing to the left included 2 complete sets of bathhouses, and the wing to the right where we came in was used for food preparation and storage, and the massive room at the far end was probably a barn. The building here houses the lower bathhouse. It had 2 hot rooms, a warm room and a cold room with plunge pools and places to sit. We think of bathing as a private activity nowadays, but for the Romans it was a communal activity. The baths were a place to wash, relax and entertain. Now sadly the bathing houses are closed today. I presume maybe it's to do with COVID restrictions, but obviously it protects them from vandalism and from the elements. You can make out the oval shape of a pool here. Perhaps this was a plunge pool where they would go into to cool off after being in the hot baths. Fantastic site here. I really enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the tour too. What we're going to do now is we're going to walk back up to the Cotswold Way, about a half mile just up the hill behind me here, and then we're going to make our way through Whitcomb Wood, continue through Whitcomb Wood to the village of Birdlip. So why not come and join me? Not sure what church that is there. I will drop a link below. This is the view looking back from a walk up from the Roman villa, which is just back over there, and we're heading up in this general direction there. Lots of reeds in this part of the wood, indicating just how damp it is. In fact, the footpath I've just come across back there was very wet indeed. But I think because we're lower down off the escarpment, we might be coming into contact with some more clayer soils here with poorer drainage. The wind's got up here and now the leaves are showing their undersides. I keep seeing these signs and I don't know what they mean. No, I don't mean the acorn and the Cotswold Way. I mean the one behind on the tree. Very curious. There's like a yellow arrow and a blue arrow. It's very faded. And I'm guessing that's 2 horseshoes, so perhaps it's something to do with a bridle path or a horse bridle way, but I'm not sure if anybody knows. Please drop a comment below. Talking of different footpath signs, obviously we've got the Cotswold Way off to the left, Bridle Way off to the right. In the middle is one I've not come across before, the Gustav Holst Way. Interesting. I don't know anything about that. I know who Gustav Holst is. He was the composer of one of my favourite pieces of work, the Planet Suite. I'm sure you're familiar with that, particularly Bringer of War and the Bringer of Peace and all of the planets there, apart from Pluto, which was a planet and then it wasn't, and I can't remember where we are with that now. Well, yeah, Gustav Holst was born in Cheltenham, just over the way. But yeah, I'm not quite sure the relevance of that route, or where it goes to, or what parts of Gloucestershire it links up. I will have a look at that later. Now in the heart of Whitcomb Wood, absolutely glorious section here. We have the reeds that we saw earlier when we left the the Roman villa, they've now been supplemented by ferns on the right hand side. It gives an overall fantastic appearance to the wood here, makes it very, very pleasant, very, very green and dense, and a mixture of woodland. We've got we have been walking through ash and birch, but now that's been supplemented by fir trees as well up here, and taller, thinner trees, and this side here more densely compact trees. Sense of peace here. Just feel like the wood is dense all around me, but it's also calm. The trees here are a lot more dense, and we're probably now about a mile and a half away from the village of Birdlip before the wood will open up again, and we'll have wide vistas down the Cotswold edge, Cotswold escarpment. But here you do feel completely enclosed by trees, like they're enveloping you. An idea I've just thought about as I'm walking towards Birdlip is perhaps I should rank each section of the walk of the Cotswold Way. So we end up, by the time I've finished in Bath, a top 10 sections. I realise it can be subjective depending on my mood, energy levels, what the weather was like on each particular day. But those things aside, I think it could be quite useful to do that. Today the highlight for me has been the Roman villa. I found that spectacular. Also some of the woods here at going through the moment, Whitcomb Woods are absolutely beautiful, really, really stunning. The second vlog from that was, it's got to be the highlight, was Painswick Beacon. And without doubt the first one was, well, two things really. The views looking down towards the Stroud Valleys, probably because I know that area, grew up around there, and also Hairsfield Beacon. And as you know, I filmed that again. I went back to Hairsfield Beacon to do some additional footage. So I managed to capture the evening light, and if you do get a chance to gather an evening, it is stunning. So yeah, I'll think about doing that. I'll give that some more thought, and I'll let you know if you've got any thoughts. If you've done the Cotswold Way yourself, or have done sections on it, I'd love to know what your favourite section is. Seeing through a very deep cutting here. I don't know how this originated. Maybe it's to do with, again, with our old favourite quarrying. I mean, it feels almost like some of the tramway trails I've done in Cornwall in the past. Not aware of any tramways here, but I would imagine it's loading and moving stone. Certainly larger fragments of stone scattered around. So it could have indicated a quarry, and perhaps this was how they routed or transported the quarry out towards its final destination. But interesting. I've now diverged away from the Cotswold Way. The Cotswold Way continues across the road on the right, along there, which takes you to Crickley Hill, which will be our next section of the walk. So I'm stopping here for now, And now I'm going to continue into the village of Birdlip. Here at Birdlip Cricket Club. No, there isn't a match taking place today. It's just the place has a table, so I can put my little monopod on it and talk to you guys and gals, and also I can sit down, which is fabulous. I have to say, on the walk, I'm very disappointed on this section of the walk that all the way between Painswick Beacon all the way here to Birdlip, I didn't find one seat, which is hey ho. That's the way it goes. On the first two sections there seem to be seats everywhere, but here there is no seats, so if you're doing this section, please be aware there's no seats between Painswick Beacon and Birdlip. The next section will be from Birdlip. We're starting in Birdlip, heading towards the direction of Crickley Hill. I need to check the map out because Crickley Hill is about 2 miles away, so obviously it'll be on further than Crickley Hill, but I don't know where the next route will complete, so you'll have to tune in next time to see where that one ends up. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it today. Oh, one other thing to mention, I've just walked through Birdlip. I'm going to add some photographs, so I'll do a little photo montage, probably set it to music or something, you know what I do, that kind of thing. I'll stick some maps up so you know where I am as well. I'll do all that stuff. The main road through Birdlip I've just seen is called Ermine Street, which means it's a Roman street. Ermine Street, like I mentioned, Cirencester being the ancient Roman settlement of Corinium, and the Fosse Way is the A429 heading up towards Warwick, Stratford-on-Avon, that kind of direction. Yeah, it is the Fosse Way. Also radiating from Cirencester is Ermine Street, and it heads right through here, right through the centre of Birdlip, which is interesting. So I'll grab up some more photos before I go and head back. Unfortunately I got the car today, not public transport, but I'm walking back towards Painswick Beacon, but I'll grab some more photos as I do that en route anyway. Thanks for joining me on the route today. I hope you enjoyed the walk and sharing it, and I hope you enjoyed the Roman villa down there at the Whitworths. And until next time, look after yourselves, take care, all the best, and see you all again soon. All the best. Cheers now. Bye bye.